Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode here of SPINcast. Here we got two guys with Purdue Northwest. So we got Justin Bragg, who is the head coach here, and Shadow Shantadoinksi, if I said that correctly, who is the assistant coach. But I will hand it off to them to let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thanks for having us. I'm Justin Bragg. I'm the head coach of the program here. My background was in League of Legends. I was a competitive player for about 7 years or so, and then I got into college coaching first at Illinois College, and now I've been up here at Purdue Northwest for about 2.5 years.
Awesome.
Yep, and my name's Shadow Shantadoinksi, and I am the assistant coach at Purdue University Northwest, and my background is in League of Legends as well. I've been a player for almost 10 years now, and I'm just moving into the coaching position.
Awesome. And I guess, Justin, if you just want to give like a very brief overview of your program, like where you guys are located and just kind of a brief overview.
Sure. So yeah, we actually have two campuses. We're in Northwest Indiana, so we have our main campus, which is in Hammond, Indiana, which is pretty much right outside of Chicago. That's a more suburban style on that campus. And then we also have a second campus in Westville, Indiana, which is about 30 or 40 minutes farther east, and that's in more of a rural area. That's more of like central northern Indiana, whereas Hammond is pretty much like right over the border.
Awesome. Well, getting into it here, are you guys varsity or club program?
Yeah, so we actually are both. We have a varsity program, but we just started our club program this year as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome to hear there. How many teams, players do you guys currently have? And the varsity level will do.
So for our varsity team, we have 5 titles. We have League of Legends, Rocket League, Call of Duty, Valorant, and Super Smash Brothers, and we have around 60 players on all 5 of those titles.
Gotcha. And then with those games you just listed as well, are those all the games you're recruiting for, or are you adding any others to that as well?
Yeah, so like you said, right now we are just recruiting for Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Call of Duty, Valorant, and then League of Legends. And then we're looking to add sports games in the future.
Okay. And do you guys offer esports scholarships?
Yeah, so our scholarships will depend on a couple of different things. One, we're a high academic institution being part of the Purdue education system. So academics plays a major role. So if you have above like a 3.5, you get a decent amount of scholarship money. And then we also give out scholarship money based on someone's skill level. So if they're a high ranking player in a specific game and get great academics, then those are the players that are in position to get really good scholarships. Scholarships can really range from, a couple $100 to, tens of thousands of dollars. It just depends on a specific player.
Gotcha. And I know you kind of handed off that in terms of specific traits or skill sets, things like that. So obviously sounds like high academic IQ or regimen there. But any others to add to that?
Yeah, so we're also looking for people that are that are looking to like volunteer and like give back to the community, as well as maintain those high grades and have like the drive to compete.
Okay, cool. Do you guys host any events, camps, anything like that?
Yeah, every summer we'll host camps. They'll be on both campuses, Hammond and Westville. We'll also have events throughout the year. We work with Unified with a lot of our events, so they're usually a tournament organizer for a lot of these. We plan on having one February 2023 if everything works out. And then we also have events on campus that we'll create for ourselves to run through the club and varsity to kind of have them do tournament organizing experience as well.
Gotcha. Do you guys have any current non-players per se that help, or I should say, do you have any current students who help in non-player roles? Or is that something you guys are currently looking for?
Yeah, so we also recruit students to also do things like graphic design, production, casting, work with our social media team, maybe be an analyst on the team, or like be a community manager.
Okay, awesome to hear there. If you want, just give a quick overview of what your esports facility space kind of looks like.
Sure. So our Hammond campus is about 1,600 square feet. There's 30 computers in that arena. They have RTX 3070s, Ryzen 5600 processors, liquid cooling. They have Super Smash Bros. Switches set up in there as well. That arena is more specifically for gaming and competitions because there's not as much space. In our Westville facility, it's a little over 4,000 square feet. And so that space is a hangout area, but also a gaming area. So there's a lot of places you can go study there, have like meeting spaces. It's a really good space for having tournaments where players can hang out in between games. And that's kind of how both campuses look like for the setup right now.
Okay, gotcha. What would you say are kind of some of the biggest challenges that you guys face with your program?
So I'd say the biggest challenge for me is just making sure that all of our students are kind of keeping on top of their grades and they're going to like the mandatory study hall hours and doing like the volunteer hours and just not getting too sucked into like their games.
Gotcha. Almost like balance in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What would you say is kind of the most proud moment and or achievement kind of throughout your time with the program?
Our biggest achievement, I mean, I think it's not necessarily one achievement. I think all of our teams have done pretty well in each tournament that they've played. Our Call of Duty team was top 64. Our League of Legends team was around top 32. Rocket League, this year they're getting pretty close to qualifying for CRL. Like all of our teams are performing really well. That's something I'm really proud of. And on top of that, all of them are doing really well in class. So I think having both of those are equally as important when figuring out what you think your program is doing well, or you know, the benchmark of having a good program. It's, you know, playing your games at a high level, but also making sure that they're getting ready for life after college. If you're not playing professionally, they need to be ready to, you know, get in the workforce. So having good grades really helps with that.
No, that's really cool that all your teams are able to compete, like you said, at a high level, but also maintain the grades, everything a player, you know, would be kind of looking to do in a program. And yeah, so to kind of wrap it up here, if you give one piece of advice to any student and or player watching, what would that be?
Piece of advice would probably be to just make sure that you maintain your high grades and that you go to like any local esports events out there, just to, like kind of make connections, and then just making sure that you have like a spin profile so that people can find you.
Well, that'll kind of wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys taking the time to come on. And I'll just give you guys a sec to kind of plug anything in terms of where people can learn more about your program, how they can find you, all those sorts of things. And yeah.
I think the best way to do it is pretty much all of our socials are PNW_esports. That's on, you know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. All of those would be the same. We can send you a link for that as well if that helps.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, for your time. And that will be the end of this episode here.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.